All right, Jake, man, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem, Pat. Happy to be here.
So, for everybody watching or listening, first of all, thanks for watching or listening. And today's show is going to be a little bit different. Normally, it's me and Adrian. He's occupied, so I'm knocking out a show that I've wanted to do for a really long time. I've got Jake here. Jake works for btwb, and he's, in my opinion, one of the sharpest people that knows the ins and outs of the browser, the website, the app, all the things that it can do. And he's the one that, when I have basically questions about anything, I harass you with those questions. So, kind of what's your quick bio? What would you say that you do here?
First, you're too kind, Pat. Way too kind. Second, I apologize in advance. You guys might hear my dog in the background. He likes to
All
bark at
good.
different things. Third, gosh, what do I do at btwb? I mean, I do a little bit of everything. I'm mostly, product and project manager for various btwb features, but been with the team since day one, back in 2008, 2009, whenever we
Wow.
started this whole thing. Yeah. So it's been a long time, I wear lots of hats, I guess. So I've got my hands in almost everything. So hopefully I can help out with some questions today.
And that's exactly what this is for. So to let everybody know, the whole point of this show is I've always thought, and I've been very vocal in BTW, I'm like, man, you could get the most amazing app and features and like all this cool stuff it can do, but we don't like a lot of people don't know all the cool stuff that they can do or are using a fraction of the app's capacity. And so this is kind of a people's most common questions answered episode so that you can optimize your experience with the app. And so what I did is I basically leveraged all the people in the Linchpin community. I posted in the private Facebook group in the squad featuring BTWB app that this show is going to happen. I said, if you've got questions, throw them out there. And so these are real questions from real users. I will have to say, I got a bunch of questions and I got a bunch of suggestions. Hey, I'd love to see this. I'd love to see this. So we're not going to cover the suggestions, but just so everyone knows, all those suggestions I have passed along to Jake. He is aware of them. One final thing, I'll do the housekeeping so we can pay the bills here. If you own a gym, doesn't matter what kind of gym it is, you got to do all the non-sexy behind the scenes stuff, gym management, workout tracking, billing. BTWB's got you covered with an all-in-one solution. So go to btwb.com and just make your life instantaneously better. And then for Varied Not Random, help support the show, check out variednotrandom.com. Cool cycles to get your first, pull-up, handstand walk, barbell work, running program. So on-ramps, so check that stuff out. Okay, and now I think the final thing I'll have to say, this is the longest intro to any show ever, is Jake and I are going to be talking the whole time and to the best of our ability from an audio format explaining what's happening, but there's going to be some things that to really show you how to use something or whatever it is, the best way is going to be Jake's going to share his screen like he's really in the app and show you what he's doing. So you can listen to this, but if it gets to a certain point and you're like, oh, I'd really like to see that, and I know they're sharing their screen, just go to BTWB's YouTube channel, find this show, and then you can watch it and enjoy it. So this show hopefully will live as like an evergreen tutorial, and maybe we'll bring Jake on, whatever, once a year, once every 6 months. So with that being said, let's dive right in. And there's a few questions we're going to start with about Tempus. But before we even get there, what is Tempus? Because this is exactly what I was talking about. I think this is one of those things that makes BTWB like light years ahead of everything else, but I don't think a lot of people even know what it is. So what's Tempus?
Yeah. Okay. So Tempus, I guess the easiest, most straightforward way to describe Tempus is that it's a built-in timer, right? So you do workouts for
That's
time.
underselling it.
It is. It's super underselling it, but let's start there, right? So you do these workouts for time and for rounds and whatnot, and you got to time yourself. You need a timer somewhere. So now we've got a timer built into the app that's going to keep track of, your round splits, your movement splits, all of that stuff for you. Up until this point, BTWB, you've used it pre-workout to kind of get some stats, get an idea, see what the workouts are, maybe see what the previous score was. Then you put it down, you do the workout, then you come back to it and you log your score. This is bringing BTWB to the actual workout experience. So now you're using btwb during your workout because, like I said, you've got this timer there. And it's really, really cool, really, really convenient. You finish a movement, you tap to progress to the next movement. And basically, we give you a ton of data, round splits, movement splits, like I mentioned before, all of that stuff. When you finally finish your workout, you log your score, super convenient, sends you straight to the logging screen, pulls in your time or your rounds or whatever your score is for you. So you don't have to do that. And you save the result and you get all of that data on that final result screen for you there forever to go back and visit when you need to.
And you can also work out. I think one of the coolest things is you can work out with a buddy or more
Right.
buddies.
Yeah. So it's, you can do it solo, or, you can do it with you can do it with groups of people. So we call them matches. So let's say the linchpin workout for today, you want to use Tempus for it. And you can go in and you can create a match. Well, when you create a match, that allows you to, or that match comes with an invite code. You can give that code out to anyone you want to. They can join the same match as you. Once you get a bunch of your buddies in there, it doesn't matter where they are. They could be in the same garage with you, in the same gym with you. They could be halfway across the world. Doesn't matter. You, the host, then once everybody's in there, can start the match. When you do that, it triggers the 10-second countdown for everybody inside of the match. And now you're working out virtually together, which is really cool. The Tempus, when you're in, that UI and you're interacting with the Tempus feature, there's a leaderboard there, a live leaderboard. So you can see exactly where everybody else is in the match compared to you. And, what I like to say is you never really have to work out alone ever again because, you can invite anybody from anywhere. Yeah.
100%. This is one of the features I'm so excited to highlight and get people knowledgeable about because, this applies obviously to my community with Linchpin, but this applies to fitness communities all around the world. It doesn't matter what fitness community you're in. If you've got a buddy in another town, another state, or another country, suddenly you don't have to be in the same physical geographical location to work out. Like you said, I can just send you a code and we could do whatever the workout happens to be together. And I will say, I'm such a big advocate for this because when I first heard about it, I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was much more than that really. I was like, all right, yeah, some people will like it, but I'm kind of an oddball where I don't mind working out solo in my garage. It's like my time. It's not for lack of motivation. I'm totally good to go. And then I was like, I'll give it a whirl. And I think the workout was SQT one day. And I warmed up and I'd sent the code out to people in Linchpin and we would do it at a certain time. And I'm ready to work out. So I start the match, right? And I saw some people join, other names popped up on the leaderboard. And all of a sudden, like when I saw the other names pop up on the leaderboard, even though I was by myself, I was like, oh, things just got real. Like we're about to go here. Like this is going to be like, it sparked some intensity and some like friendly competition, even though I was totally alone in my garage. And when that little 10-second countdown happened, I got some butterflies like I hadn't had in a while. And it happened with people that were in other countries. It was really, really cool. And so, that's kind of why I want to get people fired up. Is it possible for you to show how to set one up?
Yeah, totally. And just to add to that, Pat, I mean, I'm like you. Like I can work out by myself, be totally fine with it. So I had admittedly, I had my reservations as well. Then I started using this. I actually work on the Tempus team, so starting to develop this, use it, and it really starts to grow on you. I can't, if I can use Tempus for a workout now, I always do.
100%.
And one thing I'll add as well is if you have an Apple Watch, we do have integration with Apple Watch, so you can use it with the watch, which is even more convenient. But then you get heart rate data with the watch as well. I never thought that I would ever care my entire life about heart rate, BPM. Suddenly I'm using the watch now and I'm seeing, you look down on the match screen and you can see exactly what your heart rate is in the moment. And we carry that data over again. When you save your result, we carry that data over to your result screen. And I care about that stuff now. And I'm always kind of monitoring that. So it's been interesting. It's been fun.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Let's do
hopefully,
this.
yeah, this might be one of the times where if you're listening in an audio format, you might want to check out what Jake's doing. Go to the YouTube channel.
Okay, just gonna share the old screen here. Sharing screen. Okay. This should pop up in just a second. All right. And let me.
There we go.
Okay. So, yeah, so you can create a match. So let's go to, I've actually got my linchpin track here, as you can see. Now, I will say this as well. Tempus can only be used with specific workout types right now. We're slowly expanding the workout types that you can use Tempus for. In
That was
general,
going to be my question. Okay.
yeah, in general, it pretty much covers anything timed related. So a 21:15:9, a chipper, a rounds for time, things like that. Let's go ahead and open up here. I'm going to go in the past here, Pat. Let's go back time. What was Saturday's workout? Let's find
Saturdays, I think you could do either, you had a choice between Lynn or a 15-12-9 of a clean and jerk and a chest to bar pull up.
Okay, that one actually might. Let's actually do that. Let's go there. Saturday.
That was either Saturday or Friday, let's say. Yeah, the A and B. Yep. So
Okay. Yeah, so this will be
perfect.
Okay. Gosh, have I done this? Looks like I've got a previous score for this. I might
look at you.
Yeah. So basically you find the track event there and you get these two icons in sort of, let me scroll this up. In the top right-hand corner there, you get the plus icon and you get the timer icon. This Tempus, this timer icon here, this is where you create the match. Okay. So what it's doing right now, it's creating it. Great. So I've got a match going here. You can see
Jake, you're level 71 in this workout. That's legit.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great. This, yeah, 2023, where was I? I guess I
just happened to pull this one up out of nowhere, huh?
So we've got the invite code here. So if you want to give this to anybody, text that on over or whatever, they enter it. There's a way to enter it on the home screen or whatever, and then they'll pop up in here. Now, if we go to the leaderboard, you notice the leaderboard tab up here. Okay. This is another cool feature that I didn't mention here, but you'll notice in the athletes section, there's me at the top, and then there's these ghosts that we have. Okay. Anytime you participate in a Tempus match, you save your result, we actually save your ghost. And you can think of the ghost as just kind of like a replay. So if you ever want to redo this workout, you can add your old ghost to the match. For example, if you come on down here, ghost replays, looks like I've got my old ghost there. Let's go ahead and add it to the match. And It should pop it up there.
So you can literally race your old self in real time.
Right, exactly. Now, what it did, and this is a feature that we have here, is you'll notice when I first created this match and I came to this tab, we had already auto added some ghosts. So these should be ghosts from linchpin users who also did it in Tempus.
Oh, cool.
That's the idea there. So we'll auto add some ghosts there. So really you never have to work out alone. If you don't want any of those ghosts, you can easily just tap on the icon there to remove them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Either way, we've got some ghosts in here. So I've got myself, I've got my old ghost, and I've got these other three from Nicholas, Slav, and Owen here. I guess we'll just keep that. Let's go back to the match overview tab. And when I'm ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and tap start. And here's where I can choose either watch or phone. If I choose watch, it'll open up the watch app and I can start the match from the watch. If I choose phone, it'll instantly start the countdown right here on the phone. Do you want to try that, Pat?
Sure, yeah.
Let's do it. Launch on phone. All right. Switches you over into the landscape mode, and we're off. Now, this countdown's triggered for everybody in the match.
It's so cool, man.
Okay. And so here we go. We've got our match. We've got
So right now, you're in the middle of just touch and go and 15 clean and jerks at 135.
Exactly. Now, I happen to go beast mode here, so we're just going to say I completed this in 15 seconds. And so that moves me on. You'll notice over here on the right-hand side, I earn 15 points. There's a point system that goes with these workouts. You earn 1 point per 1 rep, unless it's a distance. So let's say it's a run. You earn 1 point for every 10 meters.
Okay.
Nice. But we'll check this out here. We'll see when these ghosts finish.
But
They're
right
clean.
now it shows that you're on the chest to bar pull-ups, 15 reps.
Yep.
And somebody would just have their phone to be sitting on the rack, on a bench or whatever. And
Wherever.
when you finish a particular movement, you just tap the screen and it notes precisely how long that segment took, and it just advances you and lets you know what the next part is.
Exactly. And you can see some numbers up here. We've got the main match timer. You've got the round 1 split. So we're just waiting here for a couple of these people to finish up. See what this looks
who
like.
weren't
There
superhuman.
we go.
There you
Owen.
go.
All right. Owen just finished his. Awesome. So that's kind of how that leaderboard works. Let's go ahead and progress to the next one. And you can see round 1 took me 1:22, and now round 2 split has started.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
yeah. Yeah. So and you get a similar experience on the watch. But just so that we can kind of show people what this whole thing looks like, let's go ahead and advance forward
Just
here.
blitz the
Yeah.
workout.
Just absolutely crush it. And we are done. Okay, so 1:48 for me. You can see over in the right-hand side.
It's a great time.
Yeah, fantastic. Once I'm done, this is the best part about Tempus is go ahead and tap on log result. Takes me directly to the log screen here, RX. If I needed to change anything about the workout, I can make some modifications here. Maybe I, did a lighter weight or something like that. Log score pulls in to the decimal place. That first decimal is my time there. Don't need to do anything. Add some notes if I want to. And then we can come on down here and save it. And on this screen, this is where we've got all the data. I set a fake personal record here. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. So here we are. So I've got my result 148.8, but now I've got this event stream that shows me all the movement splits for everything,
And you can just scroll right through that.
Yep. And then we've got our round splits down here as well.
See, this is why I wanted to do this video. I actually haven't been taking advantage of that. Okay.
Yeah. So, if anybody cares about that, you're trying to make some of those 1% gains in some of these things, come on back, see what your splits are looking like. How many seconds can you shave off of, your clean and jerks here to set that new PR by 5 seconds or whatever it is,
Or it just keeps you really honest, right? I mean, if you're doing something like Helen, 400-meter runs, kettlebell swings and pull-ups, you're like, oh yeah, Helen, I smoke Helen. I do the runs in like 1:50, and then you go back, you're like, oh, 225, 230. Oh,
exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. It's not how it felt. So yeah, it's nice to see the data actually broken up with splits.
Yeah. So this is a very cool, very exciting feature. I think once, we're lots of development going into this, lots of cool things still coming up. But once people kind of get a taste for this, I think that they'll really start to navigate towards it. It really changes that workout experience for the better.
100%. Okay, and then you just, and you could also, you showed how to access Tempus by clicking on the little clock icon, but you can also do it, correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere down there in the bottom of the screen, the bottom of the homepage, right?
Yeah, so let's go home real quick. I mentioned when a match code is generated, I copied it. Well, if you then text that out to friends or family or whatever, they can open up the app. They can click on this plus icon here. There is a join match option at the bottom down here. All they need to do is click on that. And if they have a code, enter it there, join match, and it'll add them to the match.
Perfect. Okay. Very awesome. And then I guess just a question, you may not be necessary to share your screen, but just a question that I have is, that's a workout that's for time. Does it work with a heavy day if it's a 5x5 back squat, or does it have to be a heavy day in which I also happen to set the rest periods? Like it's every 4 minutes for 20 minutes, it's 5 back squats.
Yeah, so good question. So Tempus right now works for timed workouts. It works for AMRAPs, just basic AMRAPs, not AMRAP repeats right now.
Okay.
So if you've got a single 10-minute AMRAP, great. Not a 10-minute AMRAP with buy-in. So when I say basic AMRAP, I mean just a basic classic AMRAP.
It would work for Cindy.
Perfect for Cindy. Perfect for Cindy. And then yes, it works for single movement weightlifting sets. So if you prescribed a back squat 5-5-5, 2 minutes rest in between, perfect. It also does single movement EMOMs. So if you're doing
Okay.
maybe it's a every 1 minute for 10 minutes, 3 back squats. Yes, perfect for that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And then there's one, yeah, and we do intervals now too. So if you're doing a 4x400 meter, or sorry, a 4x500 meter row, rest 2 minutes, also perfect.
Okay, gotcha. So just for me as the programmer and people being curious and other just, people who have fitness communities, Tempest would work. Let's take a 5x500 meter row.
Yep.
Tempest would work if I said 5x500 meter row, you're going every 4 minutes, like it's set in there. But if I said 5x500 meter row, rest as needed,
Right.
that's not a set rest period. So that version, it just depends on, one version would work in Tempest, one version would not.
So, okay. So to answer your question there, all right. So 5x500 meter row, rest as needed, works perfect.
Oh,
5 by
okay.
500 meter row, rest 2 minutes, works perfect. 5x500 meter row, go every 3 minutes, does not work. That is an EMOM with
Okay.
rowing distance. So that's a little
Gotcha.
different. Yeah. So that's a little different.
Okay. That's good to know. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
Okay.
then
That's
one
helpful.
thing, yeah, since we're talking about rowing machines, I mean, we do have integrations with all of the Concept 2 machines and the Echo Bike. So what's really cool about that, I can't necessarily demonstrate that on the app here, but if the workout let's say it's that workout that we just did, what was that? Clean and jerk and
Chest to bar.
chest to bar pull-up. Let's say there was a 500 meter row at the end of each of those. Before you start the match, you can actually sync up with a Concept 2 row erg. Then in the match, you progress from the clean and jerk, you progress from the chest to bar pull-ups, and you get to that first 500-meter row.
Mm-hmm.
500-meter distance, and I'm pointing back here because I've got a whole slew of Concept 2 equipment that I test on. Yeah. But the 500-meter distance gets automatically set on the monitor, and you start pulling. And as the distance goes down on the monitor, the distance also goes down on the screen. As soon as you hit 0, it auto progresses you. So you didn't even need to tap.
Oh, cool.
On
Okay.
Tempus. Yeah. So yeah. So basically we've got integrations with all the machines there that make it even cooler.
Oh yeah, I haven't used it with a workout that had a row yet. Okay, so that's good to know. And you said it does work with the Rogue Echo Bike, or will work in the future?
So that's a great question. So it does work on my app. Now I have a test version of the app. I don't know if we've rolled that out to production just yet. I want to say we have.
Okay.
You say in our last production.
If not, we'll call it pending.
Yes, it is pending. I did a little bit of testing this morning and it worked fantastic with both calories and distance. So Rogue Echo Bike added to the list.
Okay, awesome. Anything else people should know about Tempus?
No, except that lots of cool stuff coming down the pike, I guess. This is something that we're focused on and we think is going to be a really big feature. So, it's one of the big things that we're doing, and so we're constantly making updates to it.
Yeah, again, my recommendation is really everybody, if you haven't tried it, try it. Set up a match, do it with your friends. And even if you were like me before, where it seems like, okay, whatever, like I have a suspicion that you will enjoy yourself far more than you thought. And it'll bring just a level of spice to your workout, especially if you're solo, that maybe you haven't had in a while. And you can actually unite yourself with your friends all around the world, which is so cool. Or, like you said with the ghost, the other cool thing is maybe you and I are super competitive with each other, right? And it's Helen or whatever, and we really wanted to go head to head and we can't. You're going to do it in the morning and I'm going to do it in the afternoon. I can go race your ghost. And I have an advantage because I know what you did, but I'm going to feel like I'm really racing you. And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some things that we, admittedly we want to do, if somebody let's say you're racing somebody's ghost and somebody passes you or something like that, just little updates we can make inside, so haptic feedback on the watch. Oh man, so-and-so just passed me. Okay. I got to pick it up.
Nice.
So yeah, some cool things that we're building towards.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Okay. All right. Maybe now we'll get into some questions here. And I think we just talked about Tempest for like 20 minutes. So if this gets out of control, we might have to just stop somewhere and we'll do a part two down the road here. We'll keep it realistic. Okay, so we covered a bunch of Tempest stuff, and that just left us with one Tempest question from, let's see, from Alex. Can I default to kilograms in Tempest? How does that work?
Yeah, good question. So I want to, I guess, a few different things. No, you can't default to a kilogram. And I think this is another question that we have later on as well. However the workout is built, however it's programmed, if it's programmed with pounds, that's how the Tempest match is going to be created. Now, if it's a weightlifting workout, a back squat 5x5, once you make that first adjustment, you hit your first set of 5, you go into save that score in the match and you switch it to kilograms, it should keep kilograms for the rest of that Tempest match. So you don't have to switch it every single time.
Okay, so you can't switch it before the match if it was programmed in pounds, but once the match starts, you can.
Correct. Now, with Tempest, I mentioned a lot of updates we want to make to it is rethinking the whole flow of things. So you guys saw me jump in there for a linchpin workout, tap on the timer icon, and boom, create the match for that workout. Well, things like, kind of reconsidering the flow. For example, maybe I'm going to do a scaled version of that workout. So I tap on the Tempest icon, and instead of taking me straight to the match, it brings up a screen that says, okay, how are you going to do this match? Okay, well, maybe I make the scales here first, change everything I need to do, then hit the Tempest icon, and it creates a match specifically for this custom workout that you want.
Okay.
So there are some sort of reorganization, updates to the flow that I think will take care of that for this user.
Also, since nobody has ever done this before, it's fair to say there's going to be a lot of evolution for the foreseeable future.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And we're still filling things out.
And you touched on it now, and even though it's a question later on, we might as well hit it now, the pounds and kilos things. So I guess the question is to, why does btwb hate the rest of the world and want to force everybody to lift in pounds? No, we realize that America is actually the minority, that most of the world does lift in kilograms. And is it fair to say that that easily switching from pounds to kilos is something that is on btwb's to-do list?
Yes, we do. I'll be the first to say here, we do not hate the rest of the world. We love everybody. So this has come up quite a bit. So it's definitely on our radar. The update is a little bit more complicated than people might think. As I mentioned previously, workouts are created based on the units chosen when they're created. So there's some things that we'd have to reconfigure and change to allow, say, a user to go to a menu setting that says, hey, show me all workouts in kilograms instead, which I think is something, or not I think, it's something that we definitely want to do. How and where we actually build that into the app, I'm still not sure, but there's a little bit more that goes into it there. Suffice to say, we definitely want to do an update like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That'll be, I'm sure, very warmly received. All right. And now we'll just start getting into the questions here. I'll go as rapid fire as I can. Some of them may not require screen share. Some may. So let's see. This first one's from Corey. How come sometimes you log your workout notes on the same page that you log your score, and sometimes they show on the page after? I've noticed this specifically on lifting days.
Yeah, so this one's interesting. Notes should always be on the final screen of the logging flow. There is no other place to add notes. Now, we did do some shifting around of some things. Some of, you guys might have noticed that sometimes the score is entered on the screen just prior to the final screen. Sometimes it's on the very last screen. That really depends on the kind of workout it is. But notes now, at least, and this update has been out for quite some time now, should always be on the very final screen. You can't add any notes prior to that.
And they live with that workout.
Yes, they'll be
Forever and ever.
attached to that
Okay.
result.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
All right, let's see. From Lori, is there a way to see your score on the leaderboard when you don't do the workout on the day it was programmed?
Okay, so you're doing a linchpin workout. It's programmed on Wednesday, but you want to do it on Tuesday. Okay, that's fine. So you can click on the track event for Wednesday, go through the whole logging flow at the very end, change the date to Tuesday, and save it. So unfortunately, the way that we do things here is we move it to your personal track in that case. So you didn't do it. And the idea is basically you didn't do it with everybody else on that day. You did it sometime else. And so you're not going to appear on the leaderboard for that track event specifically. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to appear on, and this is a distinction that needs to be made. That doesn't mean you're not going to appear on the leaderboard for that workout. So we have what we call track event leaderboards, which are this workout programmed to this track for this day. But then there's also sort of the global leaderboard for that workout.
When you say a track leaderboard, a track could be linchpin, mayhem, VNR. Yes. So those are tracks.
Yep, and each item on the track is an event. So the RX, I'm looking at it right now, the RX option A for Saturday, which we just demonstrated Tempus with.
Right.
That is a track event. It's a workout. It's a track event on the linchpin WODs track.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's a leaderboard for that track event. But if you don't log a score to it on that day that it was programmed, you're not going to appear on the track event leaderboard. Now, if you search for that workout and find the worldwide leaderboard for that workout, you'll appear there, and you'll appear there with anybody else who might have also done that workout ever in the history of btwb.
Okay, cool. Next one from Matt. I have 8 years of results, scores, lifts, etc. in Wodify. Can I import data from there into btwb?
Yes, and you've got 8 years, so
right.
I definitely see you wanting to hang on to that stuff. Yeah, so we do have a data import service, so you can definitely take advantage of that. My suggestion to you would be go to the btwb FAQ knowledge base, type in Wodify. That should take you to a knowledge base article with some instructions there. Essentially, you'll download some files from your Wodify account. You'll attach those to an email, and you'll email all of it to a specific email address we have in that article.
Okay.
And then it should pull in everything that we can find matches for. This is an important note here. It's probably not going to match everything that you have in Wodify, just because of how, we need to be able to identify and sync up with the workouts from Wodify. So for named workouts and stuff like that, you'll probably be able to hang on to those just fine, some weightlifting numbers and whatnot. But the random workout that you did on September the 2nd, 2017 at your gym for Wodify might not be able to hang on to that. So for things like that, you'll need to go in and manually add, which you can do on BT. Yeah.
And I think something which causes a bit of confusion is the gym association. So if a person has, what is the gym association and how do they change or update that if somebody is not currently associated with the gym they would like to be?
Yeah. So gym association.
And where do they find it?
Yeah. So let me open up the app here. Let's reshare this screen.
Let's open up the app. Let's use some technology here.
Okay, sharing again. All right, so that should pop up now. There we go. Okay. So if somebody wants to change gym association, we're going to go into top left-hand corner, side menu. All right. Settings. And then here we've got, where is it? We've got switch gyms. Okay. So, and let me actually start with this, because let's go back. Let's go edit profile. All right. Now, There's an association here. You can see this item, CrossFit Fordham. All right. So there's actually, how do I want to explain this? There's a difference between the gym that you're in and then this association here. This association here is just kind of like a label, basically. So let me show you. Let's go to my profile. I think we show you your association here. Yeah, so you can see my name there, Jake Mannion, USA, and then CrossFit Fordham right underneath.
Okay.
You can actually make that say whatever it is you want to. So if I go back into my edit profile and change the gym association to
CrossFit Unicorn. I mean, whatever you want.
Sure, it'll appear there. Now that's different from the gym my count belongs to.
Ah, okay. I didn't know this. Okay, see, this is great.
Yes. So the question is, well, is somebody just trying to change this label here, or do they actually want to move their account from one gym into another gym? Now,
so that label right there, that's just a Velcro patch. You can just flap that around. It's not really your tribe that you're rolling with.
Right. Except when if you first create a btwb account and in that process join a gym, by default, the association you see here will actually match whatever gym you're actually in. Okay. But then you can go in and change it to whatever you want to. Like you said, CrossFit Unicorn, whatever. Meanwhile, the gym that you actually go to is CrossFit Fordham, which is my gym. Those don't need to match, basically. Okay. So given that, let's go back to side menu settings. If somebody just wanted to change the label, well, come on up to edit profile, find the association option right here and change it. Change it to whatever you want to.
Okay.
All right. If you don't belong to the gym that you actually want to belong to, that's something completely different. We need to switch gyms. And there's that setting right there. You'll go ahead and type in the gym name. Once, you'll get a list of gyms, you select the gym. In order for you to join that gym, you'll need to know that gym code. And so it'll ask you, hey, do you know the code? If so, enter it. If you know it, it'll add you automatically. If you don't know it, it's going to send that gym admin a request. That gym admin will need to accept that request in order to move you into their gym.
Gotcha. Okay. And is something like this different for like my community with Lynchman? Because I'll get a question every now and then of like, hey, somebody's saying like, hey, what's the code? But I don't have any code to give.
Right. No, you do not have a code to give.
Okay, so don't send me an email, everybody.
Yeah, this is important here because somebody doesn't need to be in a specific gym in order to be a Lynchpin subscriber.
Gotcha.
These people, your subscribers can belong to any gym they want to on btwb and subscribe to the Lynchpin program, which I suspect is how most people are.
Gotcha.
There's no actual gym that somebody needs to join in order to take advantage of the Lynchpin program.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm a bit unique into the fact that there's not a code associated.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. But if you were a gym owner, an affiliate owner, and you're at, again, whatever, CrossFit Unicorn, and you've got your 200 members, and your 200 members of CrossFit Unicorn are going to be on btwb, they're going to go through this process that you just mentioned. They're going to receive a code, and then they're in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Gotcha. Yep. Okay, perfect. I think we're good on that one.
All right,
let's see here. Where is the next one? Is there a way to quickly look up previous personal records or personal bests for each movement?
Yeah, I should have kept my app open here. Let's open it. This is a good question because I saw this and I was like, oh man, okay, yes, we definitely do this. This is like btwb bread and butter.
Right, yeah. Jake, that's why we're doing the video, man. We're putting out the good stuff.
Okay, so let's go back home. All right. So if somebody wants to know a PR for a specific movement, a Metcon, whatever it is, well, let's open up side menu again, top left-hand corner, and let's go analyze. All right, there's that analyze section. Now, there's a bunch of things available to you here. We call it benchmarks. Maybe this is a little misleading, and maybe this is why it's a little confusing to somebody. Benchmarks includes, we mean benchmarks to say your best for intervals, lifts, Metcons. That's what this item here is for. So let's jump in.
Okay.
Okay, and you've noticed several tabs across the top. We actually start off with lifts. So in the lifts tab, you scroll on down. We've got all of the popular lifts and your best effort for 1, 3, 5, 10 reps for each.
My friend, you're rocking a 350 back squat. Look at you with the level 86. You're a sleeper, dude. I didn't know you had that.
Oh, Pat. Okay. So I should also say that I do a lot of testing here. So not every score that you see here, fortunately, is accurate.
I was like,
Right?
man.
Yeah. So, you'll notice snatch, shoulder press, thruster. We've got all these things here. So if somebody has a question about, hey, what's my 1, 3, 5, 10 rep for X
Okay.
lift? This is where they want to come.
Gotcha.
Now, what's also really cool about this screen, let's scroll back to the top here. We've got the cool little spider graph here. You can kind of click on these to see whatever. Where is it? Up here. Okay. You got these toggles. You got all and current. So right now you're looking at all the numbers down here. These are my lifetime bests. Okay. But if you want something more current, we'll tap on to the current toggle. All right. Now you scroll down here. This is going to give you your best for each of these in the last 12 months.
Okay.
So if you're looking for, if you've got the way I describe this to somebody is, okay, you're doing 75% back squat today. Okay, great. What's my 3 rep? Well, my best ever 3 rep is 350, but I did that 10 years ago.
Deadlifted 405 in high school.
Exactly. So you come here, you look at the current tab, and that'll give you more recent numbers that you maybe want to go off of.
Very cool. Okay, great. See, this is exactly the stuff that people need to know. Again, there's so much that the app does that I guarantee people are unaware. So, okay, so, all right, continue. I see you've got intervals, gymnastics, Metcon. So,
yeah.
If, are you able, maybe you're going to get there, so tell me to be quiet if that's the case. But I'll let you do your thing, then I'll ask a question.
Yeah, just kind of showing you. We'll do all of the main distances for running and rowing. So, you'll get to see all your bests there. We do something similar for gymnastics. So, all of your max sets for all of the popular gymnastics movements, max pull-up, max push-up, et cetera, et cetera.
Is that a testing number or a real number? The 22 stricties and the old pull-ups.
That is a real number, but take a look at the date there.
I see it's 2011, but hey, still, I mean, that's legit, right, man. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's cool.
Once upon a time. All right. Let's go Metcons. So this is where somebody's going to be able to view. Now there's an extra filter here, which is right there. So we break this page up into the various different benchmark or Metcon categories.
I had no idea this existed.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anybody wants to view, okay, lifetime bests for any of these girls, pull those up super fast, easy right here.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. That's exactly what's going to be my question, is like a very well-known workout. Again, sticking with the Helen example, how would I find Helen? But there you go. Okay.
Yeah. Now what's cool though is if you program Helen for linchpin, assuming it's the same Helen, like there's only one Helen on btwb, so you should be fine there. But if we program Helen, somebody doesn't need to come to this screen here. We should give them their Helen. At least we'll give them their last Helen home screen. So they don't, if they want to find their best Helen, then I guess they do come here.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Let me see if this next question makes sense. You just stay in the app. The next one is from Becca. Is there a percentage calculator if I don't have, for example, a 1 rep max, but I have a 5 rep for a certain movement?
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back home again. And then let's actually jump to today. Let's jump to Sunday. I did a little testing. Yeah. Okay. Let's open up my personal track here. Nope, not there. Let's go back to Monday. There's one thing I wanted to show. Okay. So here we go. So on my personal track, I programmed a workout, just a random old back squat 5x5 workout. Now this one has assigned percentages. Okay. So if you ever assign percentages to a lifting workout, Pat, for any of your lifts, we do present some information to the user here right on the calendar. As you can see down below, we'll pull in a recent back squat 1RM.
Yep.
And we'll give you some percentages off of that 1RM. Now, what this doesn't do, and what it should do, and what I'm actually going to take to the team, is this workout is a back squat 5-5-5. So if you've got a 5 in there, we should actually show you the 5 RM and not necessarily the 1 RM, which we're showing you there for some reason.
Doesn't it say 5 at 275?
Yeah, so in the recent back squat maxes, yes, we do pull in a 1 rep, which is fake, and then
Right.
yeah, and then the 5 rep, which I logged earlier today just to test this out a bit. So yes,
Okay.
it does pull in those numbers there, but we don't give you the percentages off of that
I
275.
see. I
You know?
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we're giving percentages off the 1 RM, but I think it would be valuable to give you percentages off of the rep max that this workout actually pertains to. Now, having said that, if we jump into the side menu and you go lifts calculator, somebody can easily find that. So for example, let's go popular movements. I want back squat. We'll close that. Now, what you'll notice here, move this out of the way. I can change this percentage. Let's change it to 75. We'll update it. And it's going to give me 75% for my 1, 3, 5, and 10. So whatever my best 1, 3, 5, and 10 are, I'm now seeing 75% of those numbers right there.
As I've said before, if you're listening to this in an audio format, you got to go home and watch this on the YouTube channel. These screen shares are incredible. And Jake, again, I'm operating within the app at 5% of its capacity. There's so much more it does. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully that gives that user, an option. They can easily come to the lifts calculator here, find a movement, and then update a percentage and see what it is they want to do.
But I guess also what they're asking is it doesn't use best guess is not the way I'm trying to say it, but like reverse engineer. So if maybe they're a new lifter, it's their first workout ever and it's a 5 rep and they establish a 5 rep. It doesn't use some algorithm to say, hey, you did a 5 rep today. We estimate your 1 rep is X.
Ah, okay. So that's also a good question. So let's do this. So from this programmed workout that I have here on the calendar for my personal track, you'll notice there's a GIF of me actually back squatting there. But then you also see in the workout description above, each of the back squat movements are highlighted. If you click on either the GIF or the movement, it'll take you to your back squat movement screen. Okay. Now,
I had no idea that existed.
Yeah. So we'll show you all the stats ever that you accumulated for this particular movement. So you see a bunch of stuff up top there. You can see the 1, 3, 5, 10. Then we do have this potential max. Now, so if the only thing I had in here was a 5 rep, this potential max should be this. It's a potential 1 RM.
Okay.
Based off of that 5 rep max that I have in here. So I could come here and say, okay, well, it's saying I've got a potential max of X. Okay, great. Maybe then I can base my lifting session for that day off of that number.
Very cool.
So we do calculate some potential maxes for people as well.
Okay, awesome. All right, that's so cool. All right, next thing that might have you stay in the app, is there a way to quickly copy and paste or replicate a movement or a modification, just to make your life easier?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this one means.
Let's see, is there a way to quickly copy and paste or replicate a modification for a movement for logging a score when there are multiple rounds? Oh, so I guess maybe if they're change a movement in 1 round, and if it's a 4-round workout, that should change it for all the rounds, right?
It should, yeah.
So maybe it's just a misunderstanding.
Potentially. Let's do something here. Let's actually go back. I need just like a simple rounds for time. Let's see what
like if you change the chest to bar pull-ups to chin over bar pull-ups or something for that 15, 12, 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, even this one, this 20 AMRAP, right? Like I can say, hey, changed weights, movements, etc. from this logging screen. This is sort of the screen before I actually save a result. This is where I don't want to make any changes. So imagine it works the same for rounds for time as well.
Yes.
But anywhere you see a pencil icon is where you can make a modification. So
gotcha.
For this first air bike, we can click on that. Maybe I only did 300 meter. Oops, 300. Yep. Right. update it. So, if that's a rounds for time, that's going to make that change for all of the rounds in the workout.
Okay, perfect.
I think that's what that's referring to anyway.
I think so as well. Let's see. All right, this next question, I think this is my fault. I'm going to go ahead and take the hit on this, not btwb. So, btwb, you guys are in the business of accurate, meaningful, measurable, repeatable data. And so if something's different, that means it's different. And so this individual's question, Patrick's question, is sometimes it seems like there's a workout that I repeat and I know for sure that I've done it in the past, but it doesn't show up in that workout's history. And I'm guessing that's because if I wrote the workout slightly differently from time 1 to time 2, it will be viewed as a different workout and not a repeat. Is that fair to say?
Bingo. Basically, let's go back.
So let's say for example, it's Grace. It's 30 clean and jerks at 135. And maybe a common question for new people is like, is that a power clean and jerk? Or is that a full clean and jerk? Or is that a squat clean and jerk? And so the next time I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take some ambiguity out of it. Now we're doing 30 reps for time and I write power clean and jerk instead of clean and jerk.
Yeah.
That's going to log it, as a different variation.
Yeah. So all of that stuff matters. I guess the most important thing for our users to understand is that each movement has a unique ID, a unique movement ID. Mm-hmm. So a clean and jerk is different from a power clean and jerk, which is different from a squat clean and jerk. Right. So if the workout is made with even just a subtle difference in the movement ID for one of the movements, well, that then becomes a brand new unique workout ID. And so that's where some of these users might be running into those issues. It's a simple mistake that, that's fine. But definitely.
Is there a simplest way for them? Let's say that I did that, right? That 6 months ago it was Grace, 30 clean and jerks for time. And today it's 30 power clean and jerks for time. Is there a simple way if the user identifies my knucklehead mistake to have those two workouts talk to one another?
No, not at this time.
So I need to be better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what that what that user could do is instead of logging to the track event you've programmed on that day, they could be like, actually, this is Grace. They can use the search icon in the top right-hand corner, go find Grace, and just log their score to Grace instead if they wanted.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. But I will say we are starting to think about this idea of versions and variations of workouts. We're in the very beginning stages of it, but there might be a way that we can kind of bring some of these workouts that are very similar together in some ways to kind of group them that might also solve this problem potentially. Okay. Yeah.
All right. From Lexi, is there a way to turn off the movement milestone feature?
I believe they're referring to the pop-up modal.
That's what I would think. Like maybe you hit 1,000 pull-ups or something in it.
Right. There is no way to turn that off. I guess what I will say though is that, especially if you're new to btwb, you're going to see those a bit more frequently.
Sure. Right.
But, speaking for myself, 10 years in, 15 years in, those are definitely few and far between when
and welcome when they do show up.
Yeah. And, and I think that they'll be a lot more exciting.
Okay.
Later
and
on.
This next question, I have an answer, but I don't want to lead the witness. So I'm going to just ask it to you and see what you say. Then I'll give my 2 cents. This is from Graham. Can we settle the dumbbell debate? Is it 1 or 2 dumbbells? So for example, if dumbbell Fran is programmed 2159, let's say for the men, it's prescribed as a pair of 50-pound dumbbells, so 2 50-pound dumbbells, and then you go to log it, and you have to enter the weight. Are you entering the weight of a single dumbbell, 50, or you're entering the total combined weight and entering 100?
Yeah, we get this question a lot. It's a single dumbbell. Okay, so if
boom,
Yeah. If dumbbell Fran is with 50-pound dumbbells, two 50-pound dumbbells, you only need to indicate 50. That is it when you're logging. The average power output calculations and whatnot should be taking all of that stuff into consideration. So yes, so that is the answer.
Okay, cool. This next one, I don't think it currently has it. This is something actually based on somebody that Lynchman said I brought up to the btwb team. I think it's probably pending. So from Nathan, he wants to know, when logging a repeat workout, btwb will show your improvement from the last one, but I'd love to see a progress breakdown. And what I take that as is your average. So like I said before, like let's say you've been working out for a long time, you're 10 years in, maybe you've done Helen 7 times, and or maybe you're doing it for 20 years, like some of us have. There's a pretty good chance, if you've been around the game for 20 years, I'm never going to PR my Fran ever again in my life. I know that ship has sailed. And so for the rest of my life, it will be like, hey, you didn't PR if you do Fran. But if I've done 15 Frans, instead of saying like, this was your lifetime best 17 years ago, but you've done 15 of them, your best ever was 2:30. Today you did 5 minutes. Okay, great. But your average Fran is, I don't know, 3:55. Like that average, I think, would be an interesting thing. I threw that out there, and I don't know if that's in the works or whatnot.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to share my screen here because we can actually give people kind of a teaser here of something that's going to be available to them in the next update, the next app update. And that is a new history tab. So
okay.
you log a score to a workout. Okay. So we're going to use my Fran as an example here because I've done this workout way too many times. But you'll notice across the top there, I've got a result tab and I got a history tab. Okay. This is a brand new tab that we'll be introducing, like I said, probably in the next app update. But this brings in a very long awaited, let's go ahead and tap into it.
Jake, it says 31. Have you done 31 Frans?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, my friend. You need therapy.
Yeah, there's something wrong with me, I guess. Yeah. And so what's funny is, Pat, I challenge anybody, actually. Challenge anybody out there, and talk about this with the btwb team a lot, to show me somebody who has a bigger differential from slowest Fran to fastest Fran ever. Okay. So we're going to scroll down. So we'll get to that in just a second here, but take a look at this new tab here. This is hopefully going to give you a better kind of idea of your progress with a specific workout. And we'll show you this tab with all new workouts that you log scores to. But we've got a little table here, your very first Fran time to your latest Fran time. Your idea, Pat, of showing you maybe like an average Fran time, I think that kind of might be a cool option to maybe add to this table here potentially, or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you have an idea. But as we scroll on down here, we're actually going to show you also a history graph of this workout. So you'll be able to see, at least some kind of trend line there, for your history with this specific workout.
This is in the app right now, or an update?
This is in the test build.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Next time we actually do a production update, this should be available to you.
This is cool.
Yeah, and so you can switch back and forth between your RX scores, your modifieds, your average power outputs, et cetera, et cetera.
Whoa.
And then we'll list out all of your Frans in reverse chronological order ever. So
man, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this should be available soon, probably by the weekend, I would say.
Really, really cool. Okay.
Hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. We've got, I see 4 more questions.
Okay.
From Catherine, how do you add a location to a workout?
Yes. Okay, let's stay in the app for this one. We're going to go to today. We'll just use today as an example. And we will go to linchpin part 1 plus. Okay, so we're logging a score for it exactly as written. enter a time here, sure, 20 minutes, and we'll log a score. Now on this screen here, you get various options, right? Here's that notes option, right? So this notes option always appears on this final screen. But then you've got all of these other options down here, location, image. If you've got a video that you want to attach, you can do it here. For a location, there's an add location option. All right, so somebody can pick a location from, any nearby locations already set. If they want to make a brand new one, there is this add new location option here. So you just need to enter the name, whatever it is you want it to be, and you need to create the location. Now, the only thing I will say here is that these nearby locations, they're going to pop up based on where you're currently located. So when you create this, and this is an important thing to note here, if I were to create a new location, you're going to want to create this when you're actually at the location, wherever you're at, because that's going to be what it's tied to. So for example, if I'm sitting here in my apartment and I create a new location for my gym that's like 20 miles away, well, if I'm logging a score at the gym and I want to tag that location, it might not pop up because when you created the location, it's actually at your apartment.
I see.
Wherever you're at. So that's the only thing there. And I think that's something we're probably going to address. But yeah, anybody can create a new location here.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
This is not a question. I just added this, Jake, not to prolong the show. I just added this because I get this question all the time and maybe people could see it. And I don't want, I don't know if you can access the photos in your phone, but people want to know, how do you post a photo behind a workout?
Oh, yeah, totally. So we'll stay right here on the screen, right? So again, this is the final step to any logging flow that somebody's going to, all right? So we've got our date up here. We've got the score. Great. I can add any notes, but as part of those extra options, you have the image, all right? So you can either upload a photo or take a new photo. And when you do this, so if you upload a photo, it'll open up your photo app on your phone and you can select something you've already got there. Or if you go take a photo, it'll open up the camera phone and you can take a brand new photo, or the camera app and you can take a brand new photo. Either way, once you do that, it'll save the results. And that's where you get that cool little display that we have, right? Which I won't do one now, but what I can show you, let's go to my activity feed here. Actually, you know what? Who does a lot of photos is Mo. Yeah, let's do that. We'll search for Mo really quickly here, and we'll pull up his profile, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Here we go. So when somebody actually attaches an image, we display it like this, right? So you've got the photo as the background, and then the workout title and details and all of that stuff as an overlay.
Very cool. And then when somebody
tap to reveal.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you hit the upload photo or you take one, it saves it, and when you finally log your score, your screen will populate and you'll see exactly like what you're seeing right now, the workout on the text. And then if anybody wants to share that somewhere else, if you just hold your finger on the screen of your phone, it will give you the option to save that image. And then you can go ahead and, reshare that on Instagram or just wherever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do that. So if I actually saved a result, this is Mo, he saved a result. This is, you got the result tab and the history tab up top, but then, this is the rest that you can see is Tempus data. So he used Tempus for this match. This is kind of how that screen would ultimately look.
Yep. I was supposed to do a Tempus match with him on this day and he stood me up. True story.
Ouch.
True story. Okay, 3 more questions. This is from Simon. So, and this is again somebody from Lynchpin, but this can be whatever fitness community that you're a part of. But at Lynchpin, we happen to do a Thursday and Sundays are off days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday workout, Thursday rest, Friday, Saturday workout, Sunday rest. So Simon says, life forces me to break the rules and I smash all of the workouts into just Monday through Friday and I take my weekends totally off. Right. How can I input that, basically input them a day early so that they're on the correct day and it jives with my linchpin community?
Yeah. Okay. So the only place that you can actually move track events, so programmed linchpin track events, is from the web. So this user will need to log into btwb.com, go to their planning calendar, and they can
Gotcha.
easily drag and drop stuff.
Okay, so this is not a phone thing. This is a laptop
Yeah.
computer thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that, and that's only if he wants the track events to be on the correct days. If he wants to just leave them as is, there's nothing keeping him from jumping to Friday, clicking log
Right.
on that track event, and just changing the date to Thursday.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see. Two more. My question or request, this is from Alexander, would be synchronizing the feature set between the website and the app. I'd love to have btwb squads on the computer, and it would be nice to be able to use the plan feature on the app. Any thoughts?
Yeah, good question. They're definitely not the same. We made a decision a while ago to primarily go with the app, and so that's why you get a lot of features that are mostly in the app that don't appear on the web. I'm not sure if the plan is to maybe move things like squads from the app over to the web. I definitely can tell you that planning from the app is something that we're strongly considering,
Okay, very
sort of
cool.
sort of a basic remedial version of plan, because there's lots to plan, and to fit it all into the app would be a little difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, final question, also from Simon. If you have your account not set as private, so I guess you could say if you have your account set as public, can you see and share your account, your profile page, as a publicly available link?
Yeah. So if you go to, actually, let's share this.
Final question. You made it, Jake.
Let's see. This will be the last time we share the screen, but I think it'll be worthwhile for everybody to be able to see this. The short answer is yes. Yes, you should be able to do that. If I go to somebody's profile, for example, let's go to Mo's profile here again. Right. So here's his profile. You guys saw this from me the other day. Right over here next to the unfollow button, there's this little arrow, the share icon. That's where somebody can copy their unique profile URL and put that wherever you want to, share that with whoever you want to. And then somebody should be able to easily tap on that to open up directly to that user's profile screen inside of the app.
And I guess if their profile was set to private, then that just probably wouldn't work.
Yeah, I believe so.
That makes sense.
If somebody wants to test that and discover that it's not the case, let me know.
But if you're public, it should be good to go.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, that's it, man. That was the final question.
Made it.
Yeah. Anything, I mean, I doubt it, but anything you feel that we didn't touch on that you're like, I can't believe nobody asked about blah, blah, blah. Like,
gosh, there's so much always,
right. We'll
I'll
save it for another show.
Yeah, I'll leave that to your users. Feel free to compile another list and we can just hammer through it again.
Yep, this would be cool. So when this does get posted on, again, audio format or video, whatever title I create, if we do this again in 6 months or a year, I'll keep that same title, and then maybe that'll just be volume 2, and then we'll do volume 3, and then we'll do volume, like every 6 months or something like that. And my goal is to hopefully just have this wonderful, almost like tutorial. I'll list out all the topics that we covered in the show notes, so somebody can see all the different things covered. Just read the show notes and then share it with a friend and all that good stuff. So, yeah, man, I mean, genuinely thank you for all that time and knowledge. I think it's going to really help people optimize their experience on the app.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Happy to help.
Of course, and big thanks to everybody at Linchpin that helped do these questions. As I say at the end of all these shows, this is the community show. So please find this episode on the btwb YouTube channel. Post your thoughts, questions, comments for a future topic there. That helps drive the content of the show. Or is there something about the app that we forgot to ask post that, and I'll make that a note for the next time that we bring Jake on, because everybody out there, you guys help drive the content. So for Jake, I'm Pat. Of course, we miss Adrian, and we will see everybody next time.